Gore Vidal has seemed to have always had his finger on the pulse of American politics.
Vidal, as you probably know, has written some 22 novels, along with plays, movies, and essays.
I don't do memory lane much.
There are just so many Gore Vidals. Who is Gore Vidal?
Gore Vidal has been a thorn in the American establishment, of which he is, by birth at any rate, a charter member.
His childhood was in and out of public schools and with his grandparents, and had a very distressed relationship with his mother that I don't think he ever really came to terms with.
We had a final row in London, and I said, I'll never see you again. And it was 20 years later, she was dead, and I had not seen her during the interval.
She was an alcoholic, basically, and she never accepted Howard, really, either, so that was part of it.
I think he really loved Gore in a way that no one else could, really.
What was wonderful was how vulnerable Gore was around Howard.
Well, you're asking, was it a sexual relationship? And of course it wasn't. I don't go in for that sort of thing. Friendship is one thing and sex is another.
You know, he kept his sort of love life, his sex life, separate from his emotional life. He had a good friendship with Howard, and they probably had some kind of affairs in the beginning, but then his sex life was something else, and he saw them as that more as fun and games. And he had a lot of really close friends, but I don't think he ever really emotionally dealt with his childhood hurts, and I think it did affect his personal relationships. Using all the archival footage throughout his lifetime, you see him changing in that 5-year period. It added an emotional depth to the film to see him on camera aging and see that he was also realizing his own mortality.
I liked him tremendously, and I hang his picture in my library, not as an icon, not as a memory of Camelot, not as a memory of glorious nights at the White House or in Bel Air, but never again to be taken in by anybody's charm. That he was one of the most charming men I've ever known, one of the most intelligent, and one of the most disastrous presidents I think we've ever had.
I was an expat myself, living in New York for 15 years and then in LA for a few years, and I really started to take notice of him again around the time of 9/11.
We've had bad presidents in the past, but we've never had a goddamn fool.
Yeah.
The film took quite a few years to make, which was never my intention, and I thought we'd have the film finished in his life. It was really sad, and I felt ashamed that he never got to see the finished film.
My God, I've done it again. Another camera crew.